way of looking at these microbes is that they give you little superpowers, right? So Japanese people, for example, can take seaweed and convert it into energy. We can't. They're the only group of people on the planet that can eat seaweed and get energy out of it. For the rest of us, it goes straight through. They can do that because they have a single microbe that's transferred from mother to child, generation to generation. I'd like that microbe. I want those little superpowers. So it's like, I don't want to lose the diversity that's on me, especially when I don't know yet what half of them do. So they've shown that people living in urban environments, so people from cities have lower diversity and are more likely to get eczema. There was a Finnish study that looked at people living in farming areas versus people living in urban areas. Eczema was about twice as common in urban areas, and diversity was way lower in urban areas. Another example of microbes giving cool little superpowers is the panda bear. The panda bear eats bamboo only, but its genes are very similar to its relatives. Its relatives eat insects and fruit. The only difference is that the panda has a gut microbiome that allows it to convert bamboo to energy. If you fed bamboo to one of its near relatives, they'd die very quickly. So just a quick look at the other probiotic brands that we've seen around. Aurelia uses level 2. They're from the UK. They're doing some good work. Biomsun is from Germany. We've seen them use level 1. My Body is an American brand, and so is Tula. Both of those are using level 2. I really like this brand. It's called Mother Dirt, and they're using live probiotics as an alternative to showering. The middle product's the interesting one, and they have a water system, and they're spraying that product on instead of showering. And the founder is got quite a lot of press coverage because last time he took a shower was 12 years ago. So I think they're finding a lot of popularity amongst New York hipsters, but I really like the brand itself. So if skin and a human being is an ecosystem, a good idea would be to not pollute it. We've seen what happens with ecosystems in the real world, and it's going to be very similar in human beings. So for the first time ever, a 3-dimensional map of human skin was done. They took a guy and a girl and they isolated them for 3 days. So they didn't touch any products for 3 days. They showered with water only, and the two of them were isolated. So this was done by one of the human microbiome researchers, and what he was trying to show is that most of the chemistry on skin comes from microbes, not from human beings. And he showed that. You can see 1% of the chemistry was from microbes, 0.5% of the chemistry was from humans. So there's twice as much microbial chemistry on your skin as there is human chemistry. What he didn't expect to find was that after 3 days, there would still be 8% of synthetic chemicals that were left behind from the days before. But he expected that after 3 days, most of those chemicals would be gone, and they weren't. Here you can see sodium lauryl sulfate concentrating in the head because it's mostly used in shampoos. Here you can see cocamidopropyl betaine. It's another foaming ingredient. So these things hang around. They don't just wash off. They stay in your skin and they continue to affect the ecology there. These two, avobenzone and octocrylene, are chemical sunscreens. This study was done in winter in New York, so it would have been a really long time since these people used sunscreen. But look at where the sunscreen's busy concentrating. It's in the glandular areas of the body. Anyway, don't pollute your ecosystem. So I guess that's part of the reason that we certify organic and keep ourselves generally ethical, and we do generally bear in mind the whole ecosystem. It's new technology and it's new thinking, and this is going to be a very rapidly evolving field of study over the next at least 10 years. It's going to shift healthcare, it's going to shift skincare, that's for definite. We've seen the number of academic papers in the early 2000s going from about 200 papers a year. At the moment there are more than 7,000 academic papers per year coming out on this subject. So I think it's going to be the future of skincare to some extent. Thank you.
Thank you. There are no ways we can hide from this one. We need to accept it. Do you have any questions?
What do you think about chemical peels? What do you say about that?
I remember I was talking about pushing reset. Sometimes, very few times, but sometimes it's worth pushing reset to get control of a really problem skin. On the whole though, I disagree. I very much disagree with frequent use of heavy chemical peeling. You impact on the microbial ecosystem at a very high level, and you better be sure that what comes back afterwards is better than what was there before. On the whole, I wouldn't say it's something that we favored, but if it has to happen, then it can be used in a clinical setting. Certainly from an anti-aging perspective, if you look at it from a pure anti-aging perspective, I don't see that there's an answer to the fact that you're going to remove large tracts of skin and that your basal cells will have to divide faster to fill the skin out again, and that means that the basal cells will approach Hayflick limit sooner. So overall, to some extent, I feel that aging will be accelerated. But if it means that you overcome an inflammatory situation, there are times that I think it's applicable. Does that answer the question?
Other questions? Okay, very interesting. Thank you so much, and good luck.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.